Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this panel with Christina. And first, I think it would be nice if our guest could potentially introduce herself in quick brief.
Sure. My name is Christina Sargent. I am the founder and owner of Fairwinds Aviation Flight Training Program in Pikeville, North Carolina. We also own an aircraft maintenance company called PropDocs. I've been in the aviation industry for a while. My father was an airline pilot. And other than that, I was a chemical engineer for several years before returning to aviation.
As you said, like you're a pilot and now you have your own company as well. What drove you problem to aviation in the first place when you started like studying and then with your career as well?
I think I would have to attribute that to my father, as he was an airline pilot. He got us all very interested in aviation from a very early age. We used to fly with him quite often. We grew up in a rural area of Connecticut, and we were able to take the plane to different islands. And I always loved just even just taking off. I never got that feeling out of my head. So after I worked as an engineer for a while, after I had the kids, I never got aviation out of my head, so I came
Mhm.
back and decided to be a pilot.
And can you maybe like shortly describe what does Fairwinds Aviation do? Or what do you specifically do there?
So I am the president. I'm also I'm the chief pilot and lead flight instructor here. And we teach flight training. However, we specialize in working with high school students and children. We have plenty of adults as well, and we do everything
Mm,
from hobby pilot to career pilot. But we are trying to break into the students of our area and getting it into the public school system so that we can create a pipeline for them. We also do CFI mentoring programs so we can train our CFIs and help their knowledge base a little bit more so that they can be
mhm.
better instructors.
Did you see like some sort of a gap that led you into starting this business? Or were you thinking about it for like a longer time?
No, actually, I wasn't. When I went back to get my licenses, I went to a Part 141 school. It was an accelerated program. And while I was there, I started to notice gaps right away. Gaps in the ground knowledge, gaps in the flight training. They were trying to get, the 7 ratings that you need that should take 2 to 3 years to get. They
Mhm.
were compacting it into 5 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And I did not feel that I was a competent pilot when I came out of that training. So I specifically started this school to fill in those gaps, to take our time with our students. And I actually reversed the way that we train. We train our private students on a commercial to CFI level and then build on the differences with each rating from there.
Mhm.
So that's how I designed this program.
So is there like why is it so important to start early with the training since you said you're focused also on high school students? Is it mostly because of the time?
Time, also though the rigorous academics that are involved, there is a lot of math and science, especially here at the school. We actually teach the aerodynamics and the systems behind the aviation. And once you start a little bit late, it's very difficult
Mhm.
to catch, not only for aviation, but STEM industries in general.
Yeah.
So starting with little children, first of all, giving them the ability to see that these careers actually exist, but then actually setting them up academically to succeed in these programs, I think is very, very important.
Mhm. And have you been met with some like challenges or opportunities while making the aviation industry more accessible to youth?
The biggest challenge has always been the cost
Mhm.
behind all of this. So we have been trying to find different ways to get creative with how we're able to fund aviation and STEM in general and make it more accessible to students, especially here. We're in a very rural area of North Carolina. So cost is very prohibitive for
Mhm.
all of our students. So that's been the biggest challenge. But we've also been able to be creative and it's forced us to think outside of the box.
Mhm. What, in what way would you say?
We partnered with one of the local community colleges here.
Hmm.
And through that and working with the public school system here, we're beginning to find a way to make aviation part of the dual enrollment program at the local high schools,
Hmm.
which allows them to take anybody who's over 16 can take aviation through the community college at no cost to them. And we provide all of the instruction for it.
Hmm.
And we're starting that. We already have the program with the college, but we're starting the dual enrollment program with the public schools. We're in that process now and hope to
Hmm.
open next year.
Uh, I'm just thinking, like, was there a student that for some reason like stood out to you in particular that you still remember to this day? If it was like someone from the past, like if there was some very like nice success or like transformative story that you helped them achieve.
I've had several of those students, especially the younger
Mm-hmm.
kids, 18, 19, 20-year olds. Education, the system in general is very different than when we were going through school. And now students aren't challenged as much as they used to be. It seems as though they're not really taught to think and to figure things out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came to this school, we forced them to
Yeah.
think through the problems.
Yeah.
We held them accountable for everything that they were doing, and we didn't reduce our standards. We kept our
Mm-hmm.
standards very high, and we knew that they could meet them. And as they started to meet those standards, they became more and more confident. We actually got to see the entire trajectory of their lives change, not just in their career, but in their thought processes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that it has been incredible to watch that. And we also have young children that come to
Mm-hmm.
our school. Obviously, they can't solo and they can't, you know, sit for the test, but we have
Yeah.
children as young as 7 years old coming to this school. We have a little 9-year-old who is doing quite well, and he's being taught on the same level as the adults, and he has the type of mind that allows him to process that kind of information. So it's been incredible to watch.
I think it's really great that you're doing it from like such an early age and that you're giving all kinds of students this opportunity. And I think it's also like quite similar to the foundation that you have, that it also supports the humanitarian missions or like disaster relief. Um, do you think it also has such a huge impact on people's lives as this school that you basically have?
I think it does. And I think with what we want to do with it, because eventually we want to open a complete full kindergarten through 12th grade STEM aviation and trade school. And I think allowing children to be exposed to those types of careers early on and have
Hmm.
them at least subsidized to some extent will allow specifically this area of the United States in North Carolina
Hmm.
to attract the talent that they need to build up the industry in this area and hopefully
Hmm.
elevate not only the area but the students themselves and use the talent that we already have and retain that talent to make this area grow in a more industrial way.
Hmm.
And just seeing the light in the eyes of these children as we're working with them it's just incredible to watch. And then they gain confidence. They get to see what they're really capable of doing
Hmm.
when somebody sets a high standard for them
Yeah.
and cares enough to help them through it.
What, like, I'm just wondering, like, what pushed you into this, like, combination of aviation and humanitarian action? Like, how did this idea came together, basically?
That's actually a really difficult one to answer. It just kind of came into my head. I am an Orthodox Christian and I try to live my life that way. And I think that's when I'm praying and asking how I need to be serving, that idea
Hmm.
came. So I think it was a direct result of my faith that brought that to me. And then we were in the unique position to actually be able to act on that.
Yeah. And circling back to when you said in the beginning that finances are usually the biggest problem that you have had, um, what do you think would be like a sustainable like system? Like how could it be restructured in a way?
I think we really need to get the state, local, and federal governments involved in reinvesting in our students' education. If we
Have
can,
you? Yeah.
go ahead,
No,
sorry.
sorry.
I was just going to say that if we can convince our leaders that our children are worth investing in, then we can start to bring these types of programs to our children very early on and raise the standards at which they're being taught.
Yeah, that is a very good point, I think. And have you already had like some successful partnerships maybe that help you with this?
Just recently, we've been working on this for 2 years now, almost 3 years now, and we are just now beginning to see some major progress. We partnered with North Carolina STEM East Alliance, and we've just partnered with Wayne County Public Schools, which is where I live in Wayne County, and North Carolina State University, their Keenan Fellowship Program. We have all partnered together to help bring these programs into the school systems in some form or another, whether it's a STEM days or teaching the teachers how to develop their curriculum for STEM or full aviation programs. We're beginning to make some major strides.
I think that's great news that other organizations also care about this and that they want to support your cause, basically. Do you think that also maybe like other areas of aviation or STEM could adopt this or something similar in a way?
I think pretty much every area of STEM can adopt this, but we need to get the industry there as well. We understand, we all know, we all understand that the pipeline is broken, but that requires all of us to be investing together to make this actually come to fruition. So we need
Mm,
industry partners that are willing to invest in the students, willing to partner with smaller companies like us that have the access to these children.
yeah,
We can't be selfish on this one. We have to work together.
of course. How do you balance it yourself, like the demands of both flying, running an organization, and working for like something that actually can help and changes the society?
Balance can be an issue sometimes. I have 4 children. They're all at different points in their lives. It's a lot to try to start a school and to be so involved in the schools, but it's something that I believe in. So although we have our struggles here and there, at the end of the day, it's something that I'm passionate about, and it doesn't really feel like work all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We have a lot of fun. We try to keep having fun in our office, and our
Mm,
instructor, although we're strict and we have high standards, we also enjoy each other, and we try to
mhm.
treat the workplace like a family. So that makes it a little bit easier for us.
I think it's always important that if you enjoy what you're doing, then it doesn't even feel like a job at the end of the day. Um, do you maybe have like some quick advice to someone that is maybe thinking of combining this as well, like aviation and community impact?
I think that if they are beginning to think about that, then they need to act on it. To I know one of the barriers I had was actually feeling like I wasn't worthy of it, or I didn't know enough to actually be able to make some of this happen. But then if you can find the people to surround yourself that know how to actually turn your vision into reality, then you
Mm,
have a whole team behind you and you don't feel like you're alone.
yeah,
So never allow fear to stop you from doing it. And if you have the ability, you have the resources, then you need to allow yourself the opportunity to get out there and work with your community.
I think that's really good advice that can be applied for anything, not just this aspect, I think. And since you basically work with students and children, as you said yourself, what excites you the most about the fact that you are basically changing the future of aviation?
I don't know about all that, but I hope I'm at least a small part in doing that. I think that I look to the future, and I have 4 children. Like I said, 2 of them are small. One is
Mm,
7, one is 9. And when I think about what their prospects might be and the prospects of the students in their classes, and that we may have opened up an area for them that they didn't realize before,
Mhm.
I can actually visualize them and their friends being a part of this exciting career field, whether
Mhm.
it's aviation or any of the STEMs. I mean, I love math. Math and physics make me happy. So I can picture them and their little faces as they're trying to do these math problems. And I just see a whole new path for the
Mhm.
children here that we might have had a small part in creating for them.
It,
It's
definitely,
some
if it impacts positively at least one person, then I think it makes sense, what you're doing. And if you could maybe like change one way how the aviation industry engages with underrepresented communities, what would you change, like yourself in the first place?
I would the biggest thing that needs to be changed is that these children in underrepresented areas, they need to know that these fields exist and they need to be more accessible.
Mhm.
We need to create a way for funding to come through to them so that they actually have the opportunity. I mean, aviation to get into this, it's 80 to $150,000 to
Mhm.
start an aviation career. That outprices almost everybody. But if we can subsidize that cost, we can actually change the trajectory of generations of families.
Yeah.
And we have to make a more cohesive method for students to attain that kind of funding.
Hmm. Yeah,
That is
definitely, I think.
change.
Yeah, like finances are a huge problem nowadays. So I can imagine in aviation, it's even more serious since it's an expensive industry at the end of the day. And maybe like on a lighter note, like what's next for Fairwinds Aviation and for your organization? Like, or do you have any plans or projects that are coming?
We have big plans. We're starting STEM days with the local schools, and we're starting to teach other teachers about how to teach aviation and STEM in their classrooms. So we're going to be hosting some teachers here for several weeks in the summer.
Hmm.
But our biggest project is starting this K through 12 pipeline school
Hmm.
for not just aviation, but all the STEM industries as well as the trade schools here.
And maybe like probably the last question I think I have for you. If there's like a young listener now and their dream is to become a part of the aviation industry, but it feels that it's out of reach or not as easy to do it for them, do you have some sort of advice for them?
It is very easy to go online and find all of the different organizations that will mentor children. But they could also even email me directly if they need someone who will help them navigate this world. I have a whole group of instructors who love to work with children, but if not us, then do some research. It doesn't take very long. Talk to your local teachers, talk to your parents, and find a mentor within the industry who can help them navigate this. They're not alone. They're definitely not alone. There are so many people out there who want to see children be able to reach this. And I think they'll find someone who can help them along the way.
I think it's a really good message what you said that you are not alone at the end of the day because there are people that do want to help others as well. So I think that's really nice and good advice also that you gave. And yeah, at the end, I would like to thank you for the time that you made for us and this quick little interview. And yeah, I thank you for your time, and I hope you also enjoyed this. And hopefully, we will meet each other again in the future.
I hope so. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you again.
Take care.